doesn't want to eat anything that's green. Makes a brisket like roca. Alright guys, what is up? We got a wonderful day planned. Got some prime brisket from HEB on. Looking forward to that. Put it on at about 7 this morning. Couldn't really get too much video of it, but I'll show you a peek here in just a moment. But I'll tell you what, man, waking up at 5:30, 6 in the morning is all worth it, when in the evening you get a pretty delicious brisket out of it. So I did this one Aaron Franklin style, and just put salt and pepper on it. I think it's gonna be good. When you get, a better cut of beef, it's better just to let it kind of come out. I didn't inject it, didn't brine it or anything crazy like that. Again, when you get a good cut of meat, I think it's just better to let the flavors come out and not over season it with anything crazy. So going kind of Central Texas themed, Aaron Franklin style. I know you guys, if anyone out there watches barbecue and they're watching this channel, they've probably seen a video or two about his brisket. So, figured what the hell, I'm going to try it. This is the first brisket cook that I've done on this. I've done some in the oven, which I almost like shame myself for saying that, but that's my only experience. This will be the first brisket on the Gator Pit on the offset that I've smoked in general. So I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully I don't completely F it up, but we'll take you along for the journey either way. Alright, I'm going to give you guys a little peek at this thing. Again, we're about a little over 200, 215. Been on for under an hour, so it's still pretty fresh, but oh yeah, man, that is looking good. I'm going to cover it up. Just a peek. If you're looking, you ain't cooking. Alright, we'll be right back. We are rocking. This thing's smoking pretty nice. Let's see if I can put it up against there you go, you can kind of see that. Pretty clear blue smoke. Looks pretty good. Got my coffee here. I got a little over 200, which is perfect. I got beer that's going to replace this in about an hour or two maybe, and that's about it, man. We're cooking. We are cooking. Alright, another thing I forgot to mention is keeping a water pan. So on a long cook like this, it's dried out here in Texas a little bit over the last few weeks, getting into the later part of the year. It's still nice out, actually. It's beautiful out. But, the humidity's going down a little bit. So either way, you want to just, I think, help keep the chamber moist, throw in some water. So I'm going to do that here. Give you a peek at the gloriousness. Put this water in here carefully, not to spill. Put that towards the firebox. Fat end of the brisket goes towards the firebox, the point end. The flat goes towards the smokestack. And we are cooking. Just so folks can see, I mean, that dropped like 20 degrees. It's not that big of a drop because the lid was open. But just don't constantly peek at this stuff. Just let it cook. Only open it when you have to. It's something I think a lot of nervous cookers get in trouble with, is they constantly, towards the end, start peeking at their food, trying to temp it, make sure it's coming up to temp, and it keeps taking longer and longer. It's half the time it's because they're just looking at it too damn much. It keeps dropping the temperature down, and it takes a while for the pit to recover from those temp drops. So, all right, guys, we're cooking. We'll see you in a little bit. Hey, gang. So, I always like to talk about the things that I'm learning. Being new to smoking and all, and I try to pass off a lot of the things that I've learned, but at the same time, there's only so much that you can learn from the books or online, other videos out there. You can learn a lot, but I think the thing to stress is that, you know, you don't learn near as much as when you're actually doing it. And so, you know, I guess I just wanted to say that and mention that, you know, I'm learning my pit too. So I found this pit really hard to keep at this 225, 200 level, even when I was adding, you know, minimal amounts of wood. And what I've learned is that, you know, it is a big piece of the wood, but another way to kind of keep the temperature down is to somewhat choke down your fire. So I kind of keep this half dialed when I'm trying to keep the temperatures low. And, you know, the other thing is with a pit like this, bringing it up to temperature, you want to really just add enough fuel to bring it to the temperature that you want. If you are trying to cook at 225 and you bring it up to 300, a pit like this with this much steel, it's going to be really hard to keep that temperature down, to bring it down, because it just radiates so much damn heat. So, you know, that's kind of one of the things I'm learning is how much fire to bring it up to the temperature that I want it at, and then, you know, how much to add to keep it at that temperature going forward. But you know, if I brought this pit up to 300, I'd spend all day just like barely adding anything, trying to cool it down while overcooking stuff or cooking it at a much higher temperature than I wanted to. I want to cook this super low and slow. So that's the plan. You know, again, my grate level temperature is a little bit higher than this thermometer shows, so I'm probably sitting okay. But you know, I did see that drop, so I think I'm, you know, getting close to adding. And I'm just kind of, one of the things I do is I'll split up my firewood into, like, you know, different chunks. Like, we got bigger stuff over here and smaller stuff over there, and so that way I can kind of pick and choose. And if I need to, I always can go grab the hatchet and just kind of split a log real quick. So that's what I got rolling right now. I'll give you a quick peek of the fire, just to show you kind of what it looks like when you start to need to add something. And actually, you know what's going on here? This is not paying attention. Let's get this stuff back in the spot. Here we go. So that should be better now. We'll add something really soon here, probably a medium-sized one, like that guy, that guy, that guy, that guy. All right, it's looking good. See you in a bit. I'm gonna eat you, Brisket. I'm gonna eat you. You know what's gonna happen? Alright, so I've put the third log on so far. I'm doing all oak today. And we are, you know, doing pretty good on temperature. Throwing the third log, it always kind of brings it up a little over what you want. And again, I'm trying to keep it in that 225 range, so it's actually not far over. It's pretty much right there. But this, my grill runs a little hotter at grate level, so just trying to keep that in mind. So I'm probably a little over 225, but not far. I think I'm doing good, man. I ordered my smoke from ThermoWorks today. I think that thing's going to be amazing. I won't have to sit out here and monitor so much, you know. Offsets are kind of, you gotta kind of watch them, but something like the smoke from ThermoWorks really helps with that. You don't have to watch it near as closely. But the smoke's looking good. Let's see if I can't get you a good view of that. I don't know. That's how you know it's good, though, when you can barely see it. Everything else is good. Got my drain open. Fire's looking good. Let me take a peek at that. Alright, so that's that third log that just caught, so it's looking good. It's not smoking too bad. Alright, it's now 9 a.m. Brisket's been on since 7. I've put 3 logs on the fire, 2 decent sized logs and 1 smaller one. And we're running right around 225-ish right in between 225 and 220 and about 240 is where I've been running it the whole time. Trying to keep it on the lower end around 220, 225. So that's where I'm at now, just about. And fire's looking good. It's all looking good. So just keep going. We'll let that smoke. I'll probably need to add another log here in maybe an hour. Sometimes even less, you know. This pit really likes to run hot, so to keep it running low like this, you almost have to add the piece of wood when the fire's almost out, you know. I'm exaggerating a little, but not much. It's just, you can't add much. And then when you do, I'm trying to add these more medium-sized logs. Like that guy right there. Right there. That one. You're next. You're next. Alright, we are 4 hours into the cook. Hovering around the 220, 225 range. Everything's looking good. Got I think I've put 4 logs on so far. And 4 or 5. But it's looking good. I think I'm going to spritz it real quick. So I'm doing fat up. Got the point towards the fire, water basin there. We'll try and keep that up in that 200-degree range. Alright, until next time. Alright guys, so just wanted to share something that I did here. So I got a pretty good burning fire here. But this log here was a little bit much, so I just kind of pulled it off, pulled it closer to the door. And that should cool it down just a hair, and then I'll add it back once that fire kind of dwindles down a little bit. Just trying to keep it right in that 225 area, and I got a little over ambitious and added a little too much wood. So we'll kind of see if that can tailor it down just a hair, and then add it back to the fire later. Okay. So we are at about 5.5 hours into the cook. It's looking pretty darn good. It's really thick, which I like. It's got a big point on it. My favorite part's the point, personally. So I'm just gonna kind of temp some of this. We're at about 152. Let's see what's going on more towards the flat. See, that's at like 180, 178. Get this point again here. So the point's taking longer, which makes sense. Well, it's looking good. 5.5 hours. We probably got 7 or 8 more. Alright, I'll be back. Here we are, 8 hours in. I think I'm just going to try and leave this thing unwrapped the whole time. It's looking good, man. Got some wings on, same thing that I did last week on those wings, but so these wings, I did the same recipe as I just mentioned that I did in the previous video. The only thing different I did is I got a Korean barbecue sauce that I got from Trader Joe's, and I added that on towards the end of the smoke, and it really came out great. We're at 9.5 hours in, and it's doing pretty good. I just threw another log on, so it's looking pretty tasty though. Look at that guy. I just temped it. It's doing pretty good. We're getting there. Alright, this is it's almost 5 o'clock, started at 7, and this thing is ready. It's got the jiggle. Anyways, I'm going to scoop this up, I'm going to wrap it, let it rest for about an hour, and we're going to have some brisket, man. I didn't wrap it at all. Alright, so then what I did is I wrapped it in tinfoil. I put it in the oven to rest for about an hour and a half. And you'll notice the bark got quite a bit darker after the rest. That was something that was kind of interesting to me. So, you know, if you're one of those guys that wraps, I think, you know, it's important to know that the bark's going to get a little bit darker once it rests. And then, you know, I sliced into it. Super tender. Juices were flowing everywhere, and this is after an hour and a half of resting, so it's amazing how much juice just kind of sits in there and redistributes on the rest. So came out amazing. I mean, I loved them. Some of the people that were here with us kind of thought it was a little bit fatty, but you know, that's never scared me away. So I really enjoyed it. I still have a little bit of the point. I've been kind of snacking on it all week, so I thought it came out great. What I may do next time, though, is separate out the point and the flat, so I can kind of trim off a little bit more of the fat from the flat, and that way, for those that kind of like the leaner cuts, they can get that. But, you know, this is kind of one of my favorite cuts, is where you got a little bit of point, a little bit of flat. Those are some of the best, if you ask me. But maybe next time what I'll do is do some burnt ends. I don't know, you know, we'll see. But it definitely won't be my last brisket, I can tell you that. It was amazing. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you till next time.